ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Tuesday. I hope that you guys have had a good start to your week and that you had a good weekend as well. Now I can see on the screen, maybe I'm a little bit zoomed in. Let me see what happens there. So, just realised that my head was getting cut off at the top. I can see you guys in the live chat room. Thank you for joining me tonight. Let's see who's in there. We have PCS Pro Shop is going through quickly now. So Jim, Joe, Corey, Howard, Ginny, Tammy, Colleen, Debbie, Terry, Charlie, Danny, Maria, Lisa, Matt, Laura, and yeah, now it's gone a little bit crazy, but hello everybody, I can see you in there. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Let's jump straight into tonight's live stream by getting the names of my patrons up on screen because they make it all possible in the first place. So a massive shout out to these people at the bottom of the screen, and I can see that the order is a little bit messed up and it hasn't done that in quite a long time, and I don't know whether it does get through everybody's name. I mean, it should do. It's just that the order's a little bit wrong. But if I get rid of it and maybe start it again, will it start? Now it's going through in a different order. So there we go. I'm just going to let it do what it does. I think it's because I was adding names to it before the live stream. Maybe it's got a little bit confused, but thank you guys. You know who you are. Their names go across the bottom of the live streams in whichever order the software decides, on a Tuesday and a Saturday, and they make this live stream possible, but every single video that I do on the channel possible as well. So thank you guys, and for requesting Unwanted Stranger as the song that we started with tonight. Right, I can see that there have already been donations, so thank you guys for those. I will get to those, but as I always say, you don't have to donate. Just watching is great, but yeah, rest assured I will get to those. Before we do, let's get the likes goal up on screen for tonight, and that is set at 480. It seems like that is already quite a lot, but we'll see where we end up. And I'm going to skip that. I suppose this is going to be part of my live streams now, having to skip adverts when I can see them at the bottom right, about to launch. So that's the first one that I've cancelled. And how long have I been talking for? Maybe, the first song's 4 or 5 minutes. So talking for 2 or 3 minutes, and they've tried to put an advert on it already. But anyway, yeah, we're looking for 480 likes tonight. So if you could leave a thumbs up as you come through the door, that would be very much appreciated, because if we hit the target of 480 likes, then we will have a fill jam at the end of the live stream. That's how we roll. We'll just get the backing track, whichever one it is number 163. Whatever that's going to be, we will load it up and attempt to have a bit of a jam along with it at the end of the live stream tonight. So let me get that donations tab up on screen, because as I've already said, you don't have to donate, just watching is great. Introduce yourself into that live chat room, maybe leave a like as well, that would be great. So if you can't resist donating, I think it's important that you know between 40 and 65%, is it? I've lost track of the numbers, but I think between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube. I know it is a lot, and the reason that I hesitated there was because it registered how much that was. But anyway, yeah, I think I just am so used to saying it, it doesn't actually register that, yeah, between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the Super Chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal link, and you can find one of those in the description below. But let's get the like comment up on screen as well to see where we are at. And 264 is where we're at the moment, which means looking for 216, 215 now. So that's the maths done. And it just seemed to fall on a number that was a little bit easier to work out. I think when it's like 470, 480, anything that is not ending in a 5 is easier for me to work out. So there you go. We'll keep an eye on that and see where we end up. So I'm just checking that you guys can see me and hear me. I always take it for granted that you can, because I assume that if you couldn't, then you let me know in the live chat room and tag me in all of your comments. So yeah, I'm assuming that we are all good to go. There have been donations over in the PayPal window, so thank you guys for those as well. Let's just jump into that super chat window because we've had a donation in there from Paul for $2. So thank you for that, Paul. And the message is, let's have fun tonight, spike the likes all yar. So thank you for that. And Paul donated again straight afterwards saying, hey, Orlando, where you at? With another $2. Thank you for that. And Orlando has responded with a $2 donation and says, catch up crew for me today. Hit that thumbs up button. Thumbs up. So thank you for that. Right. Now, another thing that I did notice, and Elaine is just saying in the live chat room, I noticed that we have, I believe, just as we went live, we went over 404,000 subscribers. So I haven't set that up because it happened just before we went live, but let me see if I can somehow change this while I'm talking. And I found the thing that I need to do, and it's going to be there, and then click on that, and then click on this, and it did work. So we are at 404,000 subscribers, like I've just said. And I did see it on my phone, so that I know that it is official, because sometimes there's a bit of a delay when people subscribe, and then you can refresh your subscriber count and then it goes down, but then it goes back up to what it was before. So it's, I guess when you're talking about a lot of numbers, YouTube struggles to get the numbers exactly right. But 404,000 subscribers, thank you guys for watching, subscribing, and you'll have to hit that notification bell. I'll just make everybody quiet. You have to hit that notification bell to get notified for all of my videos and the live streams, so that, yeah, we can start getting involved in a live setting, because this is the only opportunity I get to see you guys in the live chat room in real time rather than just the comments. So tonight we are going to be having a picture corner, probably a troll corner as well. I mean, there are so many to choose from. I'll just probably pick out a few, but a lot of them tend to be along the same lines of more often than not actually watching my video. So yeah, they're actually messaging me my own point that I'm making in the video. So I don't really understand those comments, but yeah, we will jump into that a little bit later on. So yeah, thank you for those donations. And over in the PayPal window, I will quickly jump into this because Roseanne donated £5. Thank you for that. And the message is, hi Phil, are there any songwriters, past or present, that you would have liked to work with on new music? Thanks and take care. So thank you for that. And probably, well, Kip Winger would be cool to get together with, and just being a fan of Winger, but then Red Beach as well, because he helps with the writing for Winger, the band. Long-time viewers will know that I'm a fan of Winger. I'm trying to think. There's probably loads. Well, I would just use it as an excuse to get together with Jimi Hendrix. So, yeah, I'd say, let's work on something together. But, there are loads of artists that I would work with or write something with. The only problem that I would have is having the time to do it, and that's pretty much the case with everything that I do, is having the time to do whatever it is you actually want to do. So yeah, there'd be too many to name songwriters, because I mean generally it'll be singer-songwriters and even vocalists who have written their songs as well. So yeah, there'll be a list too long to mention. I'll just basically be going through all my favourite bands, just using it as an excuse to get together with them. Yeah, if they were present or indeed past, no longer with us. But thank you for that, Roseanne. That's the kind of question that would take a very long time to answer. But it would just be me listing, people like David Coverdale, for example, just lots of guys, and then Eddie Van Halen, getting together with him, and so many, Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, lots of people that I was influenced by when I was learning to play. Gary Moore, of course, as well. So yeah, obviously I'm mixing in past and present players here, as people will be able to tell if you know who I'm talking about. But yeah, thank you for that, Roseanne. And we have another donation. This come through from Amy for £5. So thank you for this, Amy. And that is a straight up donation. And Sue has donated £10. Thank you for that, Sue. And the message is, still at work. We'll have to join the catch-up crew tonight, but I'm enjoying a coffee in my Wings of Pegasus mug and sending positive vibes for a great live stream. Sue, and in brackets, Hermes Ninja, which is Sue's username in the live chat room. So thank you for that, Sue, and for reminding me about the merchandise, which you can get your hands on in the tray underneath this video. If there's not a tray underneath this video, then there's a link in the description below, the spring.com store, and you can get your hands on a Wings of Pegasus mug. And there we have it. And there's also t-shirts and bucket hats and caps and tumblers, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, head over there if you want to get any merch. But thank you, Sue, for that donation. And Tammy's donated £10 as well. Thank you for that, Tammy. And the message is, hi Phil, how do you keep your technical skills sharp? Rock. So thank you for that. And I mean, my technical skills, because I don't really, my playing doesn't rely on speed. So it means that I don't have to worry too much about, keeping things super fast, just at a particular level. So if anything, I try and concentrate on playing more slowly than playing more quickly, because I think, for my own personal playing, everyone's different, but there's a certain point that I get to where I think, well, what am I actually getting from this if I was to now try and play this even, or say that there's a particular run, saying to myself, right, I like the melodic aspect of it and the notes that are, within this run, but if I now want to speed it up, what am I getting out of that, artistically and for my own expression? And then once I've got it a bit faster, when I then try and get it even faster, again, what am I getting out of that? Is that time well spent for me? So I'm always analysing where I'm spending time, and pretty much it always comes back to vocals and doing something that, because I haven't been doing that as long as playing the guitar, and the human voice is such a nightmare to try and get it to do what you want it to do. Guitar's a lot easier. You just tune it and then it'll be perfectly in tune, whereas singing in tune, it is a lot more difficult when you're not using technology to help you. It takes a lot of practice in order to do that. So I'm always analysing, right, where do I spend my time? And keeping my technique up to the level that it's at, it doesn't really take that much work, because I don't rely on speed. So it means that if I had worked at playing something or playing really fast a lot of the time, and then I started to lose that speed, it means that I would be losing something that I always did. So therefore I wouldn't be able to play the guitar how I would normally play it. Whereas because I don't rely on that, it means I can always play the guitar how I normally play it. I don't have to worry about, that's got to be, 164 beats per minute. I should be able to do that run at, but now I can only do it at 160 beats per minute. I don't really get hung up on all that stuff, because it's too quick to consciously think of anyway, which I've mentioned in other live streams, that going off into something that's really fast is all subconscious. You don't need to think about it. So it is literally the case that you're keeping your technique up to a level for something you're not even thinking about. So I'd rather get my technique solid for something I am thinking about. So something that I consciously want to express through the instrument, or a melody that I want to play as I'm kind of coming up with it in my head. So I don't have to worry too much about it, thankfully. If anything, it's about trying to play more slowly than playing quickly, because I think when you start to play guitar and you start to work at speeding things up, you realise that anyone can play fast. And this is why you'll see videos of kids on YouTube who are 6 and 7 years old, or maybe even younger than that, playing really technical pieces, because it's just muscle memory. If you just sit a human down and tell a human to do the same thing over and over again with muscle memory and fine motor skills, if you do it day in, day out for hours and hours and hours, then you will be able to do it. A human will be able to do it. It is just muscle memory. It's just how we're wired, that it will keep on, getting better and faster. And it's just patience of being able to build it up. So this is why you see, lots of kids who are playing covers of lots of different songs, and technically it's very impressive. But then having a kid who's singing and playing, now you've entered the realm of creativity and artistry. And you don't see a lot of 5-year-olds or 6-year-olds or 7-year-olds doing that, playing and singing at the same time, and singing, to a high level, because you would have to start working on that as well. And singing is definitely not something that if you just do it X amount of hours every day, that you're going to be an amazing singer. That's not the way vocals work. That's not the way the human voice works, because now you're not working with something that is tuned. You now have to control your airflow, and there's so many things to it. So this is it. It's almost like very young guitarists playing at a high technical standard are 10 a penny on the internet, because it is just repetition. Whereas finding young players who are artistically good and creating things, and maybe not even playing fast, but playing things with controlled vibrato and the things that take a little bit more expression and control, then that's a little bit more difficult to find. And that's what really, for me, set apart Taj Farrant. When I first saw him playing at the age of 9, I think it was. So many years ago. But he had that side of it that was control. He wasn't just sitting down and replicating what another guitarist has done and just doing it for hours and hours and hours and playing something that's technically impressive. He was playing it with an expression, and he was thinking about it while he was doing it. So it wasn't like learning something parrot fashion, like these are the notes, okay, play them at 10% speed, now 20% speed, now 30% speed, now 40% speed, and gradually doing it. You might start at 50% speed if the kid's quite good to begin with, but then 50, 60, 70, 80, over a course of weeks and months, you gradually speed it up. So that's the kind of thing that I'm not really into. And again, even with really young kids, having been a guitar teacher myself, it raises the ethical question to me whether a kid of 5 or 6 years of age is playing the guitar like that because they've just done it of their own accord, or whether their parent has stuck a guitar in their hands and made them sit there. And obviously there's an incentive to do that, to make money from YouTube and all that kind of stuff. So the whole ethics thing comes into the equation when you're looking at, I'd say, kids who are under the age of 7, 7 or 8. I've got nephews, so I know what kids are like at that age. And like I said, when I saw Taj playing, he was 9, and he went to an AC/DC concert, and he saw it and he really wanted to do that. So he had that, I don't know, that individual desire to go and do it. As a 9-year-old, he could make that decision. Whereas, are you going to take a 4 or 5-year-old kid to a gig and then that kid's going to say, oh, this is what I really want to do for my career? They don't even know what a career is. So, they might want to do it for, I don't know, they might enjoy playing guitar, but just the amount of practice for me, and then filming it, because it's always the parents that are filming their kids playing, and then obviously uploading it. So for me, there's always that ethical question of looking at kids who are a lot younger than I would think have the natural inclination to do it by themselves if they weren't potentially shown it or possibly made to do it by parents. So anyway, let's move away from that, but thank you for that, Tammy. So in short, I don't really have to worry too much about it. Karen has donated £6.71. Thank you for that, Karen, and the message is, hello Phil, I hope you're doing jolly good. I just came from the dentist to have a couple of cavities filled. As I tried to divert my attention from that little jackhammer drill rumbling in my mouth, I couldn't help but think, what if autotune and pitch correction was applied to the horrific sounding dentist drill instead of music? Pardon me for sounding loopy, it's from the Novocaine. Thanks for your patience, your professionalism, your awesomeness, and for being you. Cheers, Karen. So thank you for that. And yeah, you can auto-tune anything. It's just frequencies at the end of the day. So you can auto-tune a dog barking, a cat meowing, an alarm. If you wanted an alarm to sound a little bit lower, you could pitch correct that. So yeah, you can do it with anything. Because, you know, it's just a mechanical process. It's just going to snap to whatever it's calibrated to, which is A440. So that's what it does with the human voice, as well as any other sound that you want to calibrate, you know. So, thank you for that, Karen. And Steve has donated £5. Thank you for that, Steve. And the message is it wise to try tuning your guitar while playing a song? What is your best method? So thank you for that, Steve. And, I mean that is only ever the case when there's a string that you can hear, first of all, is ever so slightly out. But I can't remember really having to do it too much live, generally, because I mean the live gigs that I've done are quite a loud volume. It's not like an open mic thing, you know. I've got a 150 watt amp behind me, and that's, you know, been whopped up you know, to almost 10. I know a lot of people would assume I had it to 11, but 150 watts is quite loud. So yeah, probably maybe a 7 or 8 out of 10 I used to, you know, get that amp up to, if it wasn't being mic'd up, of course, for a larger venue and a larger kind of gig. But yeah, if you can hear that something's ever so slightly out, then you can adjust it. But what I would say is, if you are playing at a loud volume, sometimes, you know, the frequencies can just play tricks on you, and it sounds like something might be ever so slightly flat or ever so slightly out, and you can't put your finger on exactly what it is. But then when you watch the video back, you'll realise that the front of house, the crowd, it actually sounded fine. Founded sign. But yeah, it sounded fine at the front of the stage. So yeah, this is the other thing, that if you are in tune, and always obviously tune up before you play, that's what everyone should do. Make sure that you're in tune, so that as soon as you hear anything that sounds a little bit potentially off, you've got that peace of mind that you know your guitar's in tune, so therefore you can be a little bit more confident with it. But if there's a particular string that's ever so slightly out, say for example the B string is obviously out, then yeah, you can just give it a tweak. What I would tend to do is just probably, unless you can't hear that it's your B string, you can just hear that there's a particular string that is out, then if you don't want it to be really obvious, you'll have to wait until you're playing a chord where you know that the B string is going to be okay for you to, you know, maybe pluck or pick and hear whether it's in tune or not. So, you know, if you're playing an E minor, obviously your high E string and your low E string, you can pick those individually, make sure it's none of those. With, I mean, E minor is going to be your favorite chord really for tuning, because then you can do the B string, the G string. So yeah, and maybe play a simplified G to hear if you're A, well, I suppose simplified G, the A might clash. You might want to do a quick hammer onto that second fret. So yeah, probably wait till you have an A in your song, or an A minor, to hear that hear that A string. So yeah, if you want to be quite fancy about it, you can wait until the chords come up, and then you can kind of pick through, arpeggiate your chord to hear which string is out. But if you know which string it is, then yeah, you can wait till you get to the right chord. Or if you've got, you know, a second guitarist, you can drop out very quickly just to give it a tweak. And generally, at least I would know whether it's sharp or flat, so you can have a quick, you know, play and just jump up to that, you know, machine head, give it a quick turn, you know, counterclockwise if you want to go sharp, and then counterclockwise if you want to bring it down a little bit. So yeah, I would always make sure that I was in tune before I started playing, and yeah, I'm pretty careful. I'm not smashing my guitar around on stage, so I didn't have too many tuning problems. But yeah, if I had to change the tuning, the other thing is, Floyd, I don't want this answer to go on for ages, but Floyd Rose bridges, like I've got on my Geo, and that would used to play a lot live, you can adjust that, down by the bridge of the guitar. So that's another thing, that you can adjust your tuning and you don't have to worry about going to the machine head. So that's a lot easier. Just, turn it. And again, now this is going to be turning it clockwise to go sharp and anti-clockwise to go flat, down at the bridge. So yeah, there's the other thing, Floyd Rose bridge. If you use one of those, you can get away with tuning, but it locks it in tune as well. So if you're in tune before you play and your guitar's locked in tune, then hopefully it still should be fine when you play. But anyway, thank you for that, Steve. Long answer to that question. And Gordon's donated £5.42. Thank you for that, Gordon. The message is rock. Wow. 404,000 subs. Congrats on that, and keep going with your analysis videos. I learn something every time. So thank you for that, Gordon. And I'm glad that I can point out a few things that might, I don't know, improve your understanding of a performance or a vocal, all that kind of stuff. So thank you for that, Gordon. And when I say this, it just reminds me of a troll type comment that I got earlier. But yeah, I'll get into that later on. So there's been another donation for £25 from Craig. So thank you for that, Craig. And that is a straight up donation. And David's donated £5.22. Thank you for that, David. The message is, I'm new to the channel by way of your Celine Dion video. Thanks for doing that. Being a physics teacher for 35 years, I can tell you that people are often resistant to changing their world view in the face of new data, but persistence and compassion are key, both of which you have. Keep up the good work. Yeah, so thank you for that, David. And this is something that some people say in the comment section of my videos. Now and again, they'll say, oh, you could have just said what you're saying in the video in the first 30 seconds and leave it at that. But yeah, I think people that maybe are in science and I went to university and did sport and exercise science, and as part of that you have to look through published papers about energy drinks, say for example Lucozade, and the amount that it improves performance. And I know for a long time, and I don't know if this has changed, but they used to have a particular thing that they said in their adverts that it improves performance by 25% or something. And when you go into the scientific paper, the published paper that they used for that, I think they used a really small subject number, because usually you use thousands of people, and those thousands of people increase their performance by 25%. So then the drink has a very positive effect over that large amount of people. So you can say it's statistically significant. So back in the day when I was at university, that's something that we looked into, that Lucozade had, I don't know what the subject number was, but it was maybe 15 people or 20, and they didn't take into account people's diet. So what happens is they put them through a test where they run for 20 minutes and they see how far they can run for 20 minutes. And I'm just kind of making this up now. I can't remember what the study was, but just to give you an example. So they measured, right, how far can you run in 20 minutes? And then they measure that distance. Now they go away, they come back another day, they drink Lucozade before they do the run and measure that distance. And they said that, this many people ran 25% further, so therefore Lucozade increases performance by 25%. But they didn't check whether somebody had pasta or a meal that's going to give them carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates, and give them more energy. They didn't look into the diet. So you would say that those results aren't actually significant because the methodology wasn't strict enough. They should have been eating exactly the same thing so that it eliminates the variable of diet, and it's now just the drink that's making the difference. So anyway, not to get into all of that, but what I'm saying about this is because I've been through that and looked at methodology and statistical significance with published papers. That's how I'm approaching everything with my analysis videos. I know that you can't just go out in the first 30 seconds of a video and make a claim that is unsubstantiated. You can't just say, oh, Lucozade improves performance by 25%. The end. You know, because that's an illegal claim. You can't do that. It's false advertising. So you've got to have the study, and what you do is, you have the aim of the study at the beginning, you have the method, and then once the abstract as well, kind of at the beginning. But when you've worked through all of the stages, at the end you have the results, and then you have the conclusion. So you have these two things that happened at the end of the study. So that's how I do it, that we work our way through all of the evidence, we get the results on screen, and then we draw the conclusion from the objective data that we've got. So yeah, this is another thing that people say, oh, you could have just said it in 30 seconds. No, you literally can't do that. And I know what they're saying. They don't understand that you can't make unsubstantiated claims or accusations, because some people might see it as that. When I'm pointing out pitch correction or auto-tune, they might see that as an accusation, so therefore they might call it libel, and they might take me to court if I've just basically said to 400,000 plus subscribers that this is what's happening, and I've not given you any evidence. Then yeah, you're not allowed to do that. So anyway, thank you, David, for that donation. But it just reminded me of a comment that I get now and again with people that don't really understand that you can't just make claims or accusations or present anything as fact without actually showing that it is fact. So anyway, thank you for that. Jimmy has donated £37.29, so thank you for that, Jimmy. And the message is, thanks for all your videos and streams. Would love to hear you analyse Ren's performance, chalk outlines back on 74 retake or Fred again mashup. So thank you for that, Jimmy. And yes, I'll make a note of that. And Vera has donated £11.19. Thank you for that, Vera. And the message is, hello, Phil. I know how busy you are all the time these days. However, do you think there will ever come a time in the future that you may be able to make some more original music? Is making more original music something you would like to have the time to do? Congratulations on 404,000 subscribers. You are so awesome, Vera. So thank you for that. And yeah, I think I've been asked this before, that at some point in the future, I might do a bit more music, a bit more writing. But yeah, at the moment, it's something that, with my first album, that took me about 8 months because I'm doing everything myself. So as I've said, if I miss one video on YouTube, then everything goes downhill. And when I talk about things going downhill, I mean, viewing figures, and let me just skip this advert. Viewing figures, and therefore the through flow of people watching the channel and therefore checking out my music, maybe buying an album, downloading my songs, from TuneCore is what I use in order to host my music on Amazon and iTunes. So the through traffic that I get from making videos and doing what I do on YouTube means that everything keeps moving, so that everything is like a well-oiled machine. Everything's fine. If I miss one video, the algorithm says, right, you missed one video, therefore we're not going to tell your subscribers that you've just released another video. And you can see immediately, you just get this drop off with the the line on the analytics of where you would normally be. And it means that if you miss one video, that's it took me, I think, between 2 and 3 months to recover from missing one video, like on a Friday night or something like that. So it means that the algorithm is forcing you to keep at that level. Because the thing is, if I then suddenly stopped and said, right, I'm going to take 8 months off to do an album, I think the algorithm's not going to like that at all. And of course, then I've got to think, well, if I take 8 months off, I'm relying on everything keeping moving as it is doing in order for me to get the through flow to then pay my bills at the end of the month. So it's something that day to day I've got to keep doing everything exactly as I'm doing it. And as I've said, that the support over on Patreon, it is amazing, and I really do appreciate that. They are the foundation of everything that I do. But the support over on Patreon, you know, it's great, but it doesn't cover everything that I do every month, and all my bills and everything that I need to pay, and all of the stuff that I've got going on just to keep the channel going. You know, with the software that I'm using now, for example, it's all monthly subscription stuff. So all of the software that I use for, you know, the live streams, the editing, the videos, and yeah, the hard drives, the external hard drives I need to buy for the footage that I obviously record and then edit together. And when things go wrong, buying new leads and all this stuff. So yeah, the Patreon support is great, but it doesn't cover everything that I need to earn every month. So if I just suddenly stopped, even for one video, it would be really difficult for that month to try and, you know, get what I normally would have, you know, through merch sales, and yeah, I've kind of got lots of things that all come together every month that have to be at that particular level. So yeah, at the moment, I think people also maybe don't appreciate how long it takes when it's just one person doing it, because I'm doing the job of the musicians, the singers, the producer, the engineer, and yeah, then the record label, doing the marketing, doing the artwork, you know, all of these different people that do lots of different jobs. And I think they actually have, you know, different departments that do all of these different things. I'm doing all of that. So that's why it takes 8 months, not only just the recording and getting that down and producing it yourself, but it's all these other things that you have to do. So yeah, you have to factor that in, and you've got to think. And I know that some artists do take 8 months to just do an album, and they're not actually doing it all themselves. They might have a record label who are doing it. So yeah, it'll be a 24/7 thing of 8 months, and you know, getting that together. But I am happy that I did it, and that at least I have a product out there and people can buy my music, and that people are buying it, which is great. So I just got to keep things going as it is. But that's just very much, I think, the way it is. If you want to do this kind of thing, if you want to be in control of everything yourself, then you're going to have to spend a long time doing it, just day in, day out. But yeah, I'm not complaining about it. It's just to answer that question that, yeah, at the moment, it's just not going to be a possibility for me to work on any new music, just because of my schedule being so crazy. But thank you for that, Vera. And we just had a £9.99 Dropbox charge. There's another example, you know, paying for Dropbox in order to share things, you know, with collaborations, and, you know, share things between my computers, uploading, downloading, all that kind of stuff, all these subscription things. Yeah, do definitely stack up. But thank you, Lucy, as well, who's donated £5. And the message is, Mark Hitchcock asked in the stream, which singer who you critiqued that didn't use Autotune / pitch correction that you think is the best? So thank you for that. And I mean, this is a very easy answer, because there's no such thing as the best, really. You know, even the voices that were, or considered, you know, most accurate, you know, Karen Carpenter was one of those that I looked at, and she was more accurate live than she was in the studio. So I mean, that's quite impressive. But again, it doesn't make her the best. It just makes her an amazingly consistent vocalist, or made her a really impressive singer, even though I know that, you know, she probably wanted to be behind the drum kit, and then she's put out the front of the stage and maybe wasn't as comfortable doing that as being a front person of a band rather than a drummer. But yeah, I mean, that was really impressive. But just all of the singers, they've got their own personality and their own expression, and this is why they don't fall on those lines of A440 standard pitch, because no great singer ever does, because they're not a piano. They have expression in their voice. So yeah, I can't really say which singer's the best. Going all the way back to Judy Garland, you know, that video that we looked at, I mean, she was very much the similar case, that she'd be able to produce a vocal live that would be as good, if not better, than singing into a microphone in the studio. So yeah, but you know, Tony Bennett as well, the last video that I did looking at his voice, and it wasn't the last video on the channel, but I mean, when we looked at his voice, he sounded so accurate, but you could see that he wasn't on the lines all the time. But when I say about having a studio quality vocal, just he had that ability, you know, like the singers that I've already mentioned. So anyway, there's just a few examples, but I can start going through lots of I do have a lot of analysis videos that are on singers who weren't using autotune and pitch correction, and I know sadly the performances now that were around before pitch correction was even a thing, digital pitch correction, some of those performances are being pitch corrected and re-released, which is a real shame, but I will point them out when I see them. Thank you for that, Lucy. And Orly has donated £25, so thank you for that, Orly. And the message is, great channel. So thank you for the kind words. And just moving on, Karen has donated £2.98. Again, thank you for that, Karen. The message is, hi Phil, this is a question from the game Mindful Talk. Why do you think it is important to be honest? Thanks for all you do. Cheers, Karen. And I think it's important to be honest, because then there'd be very few problems in the world, in my opinion, if everyone was just told exactly what was happening. Because then people wouldn't have to worry about trying to hide particular things. And then when somebody does find, I mean, I've experienced this firsthand, the problems of not being honest. When people have accused me of lying and saying that I'm making stuff up, that because they've not been, you know, honestly told what is going on by their favourite singer or, you know, their favourite band, whatever it might be. So then there's a recoil effect from that, which results in anger and frustration and making false accusations at somebody who is innocent. So that's the problem with not being honest, and people assume that their favourite artist or whatever it might be, a trustworthy, or somebody they see as trustworthy, they assume they're being honest. So then the people that are actually telling the truth, and it's not just giving an opinion, it's backing it up with objective data so that you can see that what I'm saying is true. The people such as myself pointing out the truth then get it in the neck, because the people, I don't know, they just can't accept it. It's sometimes a very difficult thing to accept, but yeah, if everybody was honest to begin with, it would be so much easier. And this is why in the world of commerce, it is the case for everything apart from music. When you buy anything, somebody can't sell you something that is not what it is, because that's against the law. You know, it's false advertising, and it's against the Trade Descriptions Act that we have here in the UK. Whereas people have, you know, like selling a fake Rolex, you can't do that. It's illegal. So you'll get arrested if you do that. Whereas with music, I have seen videos that have live in the title, but it's not actually live. So people that might buy that particular DVD or Blu-ray box set, they're watching something that isn't live, but it says it's live on the box. So how is that not the same thing as, you know, buying something that isn't actually what you think it is? So yeah, this is why in the music industry, the honesty has, to say it's gone walkabout would be a huge understatement. I'd say, yeah, a lot of the music industry is not telling you what's going on and letting people assume that when, for example, let's say it was a live performance, they're letting the audience assume that that means it's a live vocal, whereas they don't mean it. It means that they were moving and they were actually there, that they weren't necessarily singing live. So anyway, thank you for that, Karen. And I think ultimately, if you're honest, then there's no problem can be, I don't know, found with you or pointed at you, because you know that in the end you are the honest one, and especially kind of proving it objectively. But yeah, this is why when people say, oh, this is another thing that I get. We might have to go into troll corner soon, but another thing that I do get, I can see that, there's an advert trying to come in, so let me skip that. We'll quickly jump into troll corner because it's 10 to midnight already and we have lots of things to do, so we've got to fit it in before the end of the live stream. But let's jump into troll corner to address what I was just about to say.
Oh, hello.
So anyway, the thing about being honest is, wow, another advert. I've literally just skipped one. And another one popped up within 10 seconds. Anyway, it's because I must be skipping them. YouTube is saying, no, we want to put adverts on your live stream. Anyway, yes, going back to what I was saying about, honesty and comments in, the comment section. Some people say, oh, what's the point in making this video, the fact that it was requested. I always let people know that the video was requested, so that's how it works with all of my analysis videos. But they say about Celine Dion, why mention that she's not singing? Why not just let everyone enjoy the performance and things like this? And I keep on having to type out that there are other people with health issues who used to be singers and don't understand what is happening. And they might have been suffering for longer than Celine with similar health issues, and they can't understand why their voice is not recovering, because it can obviously be done. And they say, what exercises is she doing? How is she achieving this? But people don't really think about that. They think that we should all just accept what we're seeing and not really question it. Whereas there's a whole, population out there, and a corner of society who are seeing something, and for them it might be that they're questioning themselves, like, well, why isn't my voice doing this? Why can't I get back to this? Am I just no good? Maybe it's just that I'm not good enough at singing and I just can't do it. And they might get depressed about their voice, that somebody else who's got the same thing going on as them has now been able to sing at that level. So this is the problem, that ultimately being honest is the most important thing, because people will say, oh, how dare you do that? How dare you be honest? But all I'm doing is being honest, and that is serving members of the population who need to hear it for their own mental well-being. I think it's a really important thing to understand and have realistic expectations of yourself and your own voice, especially if you're going through difficult things and struggling with illness. You've got to be realistic, and to know what's going on is really important. So that's a reason why I thought I would mention that. And let me just jump into, I'll try and find one. There's usually a lot of these, and I wonder if this, it's showing it the wrong way up, but this is on KD Lang. This person said, you spoiled, in capital letters, listening to this fabulous performance, cutting in to explain the obvious. I had originally subscribed, but have taken that back. This is awful what you've done here. Who the heck are you anyway? So, couple of points. First of all, if you're subscribed, surely you know who I am. And secondly, it's an analysis video, and it says it in the title. British guitarist analyses KD Lang. So I did respond to this saying, if you just want to watch a performance, don't watch an analysis video, because that's going to be an analysis of the performance. And I did say that if you want me to watch the video the whole way through and not do anything else, that's illegal. That's not fair use. You can't do that by law. You have to transform what you're watching, i.e. explain something about it that makes people see it in a different light. So, there you go. There's somebody who was subscribed who's now no longer subscribed. But here's another one. This is one on Judy Garland's voice. They said, I don't know how many levels of shut the hell up can I say to you for placing a classic vocal on a digital reader and hurling bricks at it for not sounding like T-Pain. So I responded to this person saying that I'm saying in the video that she doesn't sound like, nowadays because of the quality of her voice. So again, it's having to explain to people what I'm saying in the video, because he's basically just agreeing with what I'm saying. So it's all a bit silly, and I might see if I've got maybe one more. I want to get one that isn't like a book. So I'd have to read it all out. But maybe we can just Let's have a look. Okay. Oh, here's another one. Hi Phil, unsubscribing now. Your obsession with other people's musical taste is just boring. Pitch correction is an effect, like reverb. It is used too much and too heavily today, quite often. Likewise, reverb was abused in the 80s. We got over it. I liked it much better when you were vibing to Glenn Campbell's guitar playing. Bye. So, yeah, this is it. That I just do the requests. So Glenn Campbell was a request, and the analysis videos that I do, if they are on pitch correction or auto-tune, those are requested. So it's always the same. And I think the other thing is that because I'm objective, I look at everything. So if I was just looking at, you know, Roy Clark, Glenn Campbell, and then back to Roy Clark and Glenn Campbell again, and then Glenn Campbell and Roy Clark, you know, then I'd get people saying, oh, I preferred it when you did vocalists as well as guitarists. So I've said before that you can't keep everybody happy, unfortunately. Another advert. Just skipped it. So yeah, it's just the... And saying that, again, I've done another video. I've done multiple videos on this. Pitch correction and auto-tune is not reverb. It's not an effect. Reverb is added to anything. So if I were to say something and I added reverb to it, what I said still happened, but it's just now got reverb on it. Whereas if I say something and then pitch correct it, what I said has disappeared, and now a digital, a manipulated vocal has been moved and it's a different audio file. So what I did to begin with doesn't exist anymore. Reverb does not, but they obviously haven't seen my video on me explaining it, and I show the difference between pitch correction and compression and reverb and delay and EQ, and I go through, and you know, what else did I do? Phaser, loads of flanger, loads of different effects. I show you effects on a voice, and then I show you pitch correction. And pitch correction is an affect, really, because it's physically changing, so we don't get to hear what happened in the first place. All the other effects are added afterwards. Anyway, let's get out of here because we've got a lot to get through, and it's almost midnight, and we're going to be jumping into the cover video soon. So I'll see you guys in a second. Rock! Okay, I'm going to bring the poll to a close, and it looks like it's going to be Is This Love? With 70% of the vote. But just quickly, let me get through the donations that have happened in the super chat window. There have been a few. Danny donated $5. Thank you for that, Danny. The message is, hi Phil, how many vocal tracks did you use on the opening song when you sang the woo part? So, that's a good question. Most likely 2 per harmony. So I always pan like each harmony, you know, left and right. So rather than copying the same file, I'll do a separate vocal. So, you know, it's like multi-tracking the vocal, but having a separate take. So, you know, obviously it's going to sound, you know, fuller, but taking, I can't remember how many harmony lines I did, maybe 3. So it means that you've got 3 in the left ear, 3 in the right ear. So then when you add those together, obviously you're going to have 6 voices doing the whoa. But I don't know. I probably just added as many as was required. Is probably, you know, 3 per channel. But until I got the sound that I wanted to. So yeah, it would have been a case of, you know, panning them, sticking probably, yeah. Probably, I was going to say, cavernous amounts of reverb on there as well. But this is the great thing, that when you sing and you add reverb to it, it doesn't change the pitch. Just going back to Troll Corner. But yeah, that's probably it. What I do for my lead vocals, and this is something that I read about years ago, probably in my early 20s, where you have the lead vocal that I just do once. And this is, I know that people do double tracks. And this is effectively what I'm doing with my harmony lines, is I'm double tracking it and then just panning one left and one right. But with my lead vocal, I always do one lead vocal. And I don't sing it again. I take that same vocal and I copy it and paste it left channel, and I copy it and paste it right channel. And I offset so that obviously it's just going to repeat the same signal. And yeah, I don't invert phase it. I offset it so that you get an ever so slight delay. So that means that they're not now clashing. And I then take it down. I mean, sometimes so you pretty much can't hear it. But what I like to do is grab the left and the right channel and then take my main voice in the middle, leave it there, and take my same vocal in the left and the right and bring it up until I hear it in the stereo field, because that's what's happening. It means that you're effectively widening the stereo field of your lead vocal rather than it being really strict in the middle and not being anywhere in that left and right, where the harmony lines are going on. So yeah, I know that a lot of vocalists do double tracks, but I just don't like that, when the timing's ever so slightly off. I hear that, in lots of songs, and it's not something that I like the sound of. So I'd rather just have one take of my vocal and just have that in the middle and just, pan it really low left and right. But I can't remember where I read that or which producer did that. But it would have been either in a book or a magazine that probably, way before YouTube and the internet. It's just something that I read, and I messed around with it and thought, oh yeah, I quite like that sound, and I just like having one lead vocal rather than doing multiple takes of lead vocal, because just the timing can be ever so slightly off, and then I kind of focus on that. But anyway, thank you for that, Danny. And Karen's donated $10 as well. And Alison says, do you ever double track your lead vocal? So no, I never double track my lead vocal. I just do it one time and have that in the middle, and then do that just copy and paste thing, but offset it. It's really important to offset it. So yeah, thank you for that. Karen's donated $10. Skipping another ad. Unbelievable. Message is, how long has it been since you've been in a relationship, and do you ever regret the choice to make time for a personal life? So thank you for that, Karen. And I mean, this is the thing, that doing what I do, a lot of people, I think, like the idea of, you got a popular YouTube channel and all this stuff. And they probably imagine that once I finish doing this live stream, that, I just have time off and then, go and watch a movie, and then maybe tomorrow, in the afternoon, go out for a meal or something. Whereas it's a 24/7 thing. So yeah, unfortunately, it's not really conducive to relationships, anything like that. So it's been probably, I don't know, 3 years, 4 years since I've been in a relationship. But as you guys will know, if you've been watching for any length of time, over those years, things have really become busy. So, I wouldn't even have time to, even like go out and go on a date. All that kind of stuff is for other people who've got normal jobs to go and do. And I mean, it's not something that I regret. So the way that my life is at the moment is absolutely fine, and I've got no problems with how things are going. And this is what I've pretty much worked for since the age of 19, hoping that one day I'll be able to do something music related as a full-time job. And I mean, it is full-time. I mean, it's more than a full-time job, but it is what I spent 15 years, 16 years working towards. So I can't complain, and I'm quite happy with how things are at the moment. So thank you for that, Karen. And Diamond Girl has donated $5. Thank you for that. The message is always a great time. Thank you. And Craig's donated $5, and that's Craig's third super chat donation. Thank you for that. The message is, Phil, any ideas on German/Greek mystery song Blinded the Wind, 1984? Darius Lydia Discovery. So thank you for that, Craig. And I'll have to jump into it and see what it's all about, because it's not something that I've listened to in the past. Maybe something that's passed me by. But thank you for that, Craig. And PCS Pro Shop has donated $5 and says, for science. So thank you for that. And Les has donated $10. Thank you for that, Les. The message is, which do you prefer? Artists like Whitney/Michael/Tom Jones, who only sing to entertain, versus artists like Prince and others like him who are true musicians that can play, sing and entertain. So thank you for that. And having learned to sing, I can appreciate how difficult singing is. So yeah, I do have a respect for great singers, but also being a guitarist, you know, people that can play guitar or play an instrument and sing at the same time, or have got multi-instrumental ability, that's something that I always lean towards. And if there's like a guitarist who, you know, is great at playing and they sing, that is something that, like, to me, like I said, you know, learning to sing is really difficult. So if somebody has the ability to do both of those things, then that's something that I think is, yeah, really impressive. So yeah, I tend to lean more towards guitarists who sing rather than just listening to, you know, singers, just vocalists. So yeah, that's my own personal preference. But I think when you learn to sing or attempt to learn to sing, yeah, you suddenly have huge respect for the great singers and what they can do. So thank you for that, Les. Right, we are going to be jumping into the cover video, and it's 6 minutes past midnight. Right, we're really going to have to get a move on here. So this is my version of Is This Love by Whitesnake. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you after. Rock.
Should've known
And there we have it. That was my version of the Whitesnake classic, Is This Love? Right. We have hit tonight's Lights goal, so thank you guys for that. We will be jumping into the Phil Jam in a second, but before we do, let's get into Picture Corner and see what is going on in there. Right, let me grab this because it might display in a weird way, and we're just about to find out. So this first one that has been sent in has come from Catronia, who... you can see it's slightly off to the left, but who said, I had no idea that Phil played in Springfield. So thank you for sending that, and of course that's a Simpsons reference, and The Simpsons is something that I used to watch when, let me just do it here. But yeah, we got it here in the UK, and it's really big news because it's so big over in the USA. But yeah, I used to watch that. It was on every night at I think 6 or something. So yeah, we used to watch that. Very entertaining. Right, so thank you for that, Catronia. And this is Angela's Neon Wings of Pegasus Light that you can see going on. And we do have a couple of pictures here. So thank you for sending this in. And Angela said, neon sign I designed. Who likes it? Question mark. So here it is in the dark, but obviously as you can see the light a little bit more. So yes, very cool indeed. Thank you, Angela, for sending that in, and Laura for linking me to these pictures for Picture Corner for tonight. And that's the end of Picture Corner. So if you guys are Facebook users, you want to send in any merchandise that you might be modelling, then you can do. And it's the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook. That's what you need to join. And then anything uploaded there, Laura will link me to. So, we've still got donations. I'm quickly going to get through these and then we're going to do the jam. Lucy donated £5. Thank you for that. And the message is, have you ever analysed Greg Lake's voice? Check out the isolated video of Epitaph. It's still available on YouTube. I'm really curious, because I always loved his voice. He was incredible live, especially during the early years. Thank you. I'm trying to think. For some reason, I'm leaning towards yes. But it might be just that I've watched lots of videos. But yeah, I'll have to have a little look back. But yeah, it might be on the channel. So, I mean, I've been doing it so many years. There have been a lot of analysis videos. But thank you for that, Lucy. Vera donated £7.46. And the message is, Phil, I completely understand. Wow, there is so much involved in the making of new music. Excellent explanation of what it takes and how long it takes. I now understand why you're not able to make new music. It is fine. What you have done is just excellent. Vera, so thank you for that. And Nella has donated £4.54. So thank you for that. The message is, hello Phil, do you think that Roadie's got enough credits? Love your channel. Congrats on 404,000 subs. Real Nessie here. So thank you for that. And well, I mean, yeah, the Roadies are like the silent superheroes of, I mean, any live shows, but also for when things go wrong, and having the backup guitars, keeping them all in tune, and yeah, Roadies do a hell of a lot of work. So, and because I've always done everything myself, I know that amps are heavy, and even the head of my amp is really heavy, and climbing up and down stairs, and try and take that cabinet down a steep set of stairs that are narrow. It's an absolute nightmare. So, Roadies definitely, I don't think get a lot of credit, because maybe they should. Maybe they do sometimes come on stage at the end, but I don't think they ever do with the band. It's usually just the band that come out and take a bow and then go. Whereas, well, the Roadie should come up and say, yeah, we did all the heavy lifting. And then, these guys just get to enjoy it. But anyway, thank you for that. And Karen's donated £25. Thank you for that, Karen. And that is a straight up donation. Right, we are going to be jumping into this track.
Getting away this summer.
Oh, and let me mute this advert. That mic on, zoom out. And that confirms that at the beginning of the live stream, I was double zoomed in. That's why it's all a bit weird. Right, okay, this is epic, melodic, ballad, guitar, backing track in D minor. Oh, it's 7.5 minutes. It's going to be a late one tonight. I'm just going to play this, see if you guys can hear this. Let me know what the levels are like, just in case you can't hear my voice. And by the way, this is epic melodic ballad guitar backing track in D minor from Superior Jam Tracks. If you guys want to jam along to this yourselves, grab this. No. Why is it not? Uh-oh, fade out. And there we have it. That's the end. So that was the Fill Jam for tonight. And I mean, it wasn't too bad. I did get a little bit lost in some sections, but I was kind of thinking, when is it going to change back to the heavy bit? So I'm kind of getting my pedals ready to go heavy, but then it never happened when I was wanting it to at the end. So never mind, there we have it. That was tonight's Fill Jam, and it's called Epic Melodic Ballad Guitar Backing Track in D minor from Superior Jam Tracks. So there we have it. Right, now I think we are up to date with everything. So, and it's 25 past midnight here, so we're gonna have to call it to a close. But thank you guys for tuning in and for hitting that thumbs up, getting us to the target for tonight. I'm going to be live streaming again on Saturday night, of course, so if you could join me then as well, that would be very much appreciated, because we will be aiming for another likes record for a Saturday night live stream, because we're on a bit of a roll. So we will see if we can do that, and if you turn up on Saturday as well, then obviously it increases our chances. So that's where I will be. So have a great rest of your week. All that's left for me to say is try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live. And yeah, have a great rest of your week, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!